only going to be on here for a few minutes. Wanted to give you a quick word that I saw a dream, a very strong dream. As many of you know or whatnot, I had a dream earlier this week, Sunday, before everything went, started popping off with the prophetic aspect of some people being exposed. We saw the Emma Stark situation, Daystar, a few other situations that took place this week that God showed me on Sunday, the night before all that happened. Well, just the night before, I had a dream. God bless you. Hello. As you're joining, make sure you share this broadcast. This is a very urgent warning for believers when it comes to Donald Trump. Okay. I was sitting with him in a dream, and as I was sitting with him, hello, God bless you. As I was sitting with him in a dream, he began to chat with me. We were having a conversation. But one thing about the gifting on my life is a very high level of discerning of spirits and discernment, and just being able to see as a seer. I see a lot with my vision, right? And in this moment, I began to recognize that he had no security detail. Now, imagine I'm sitting at the table with this man, and we're chatting, and he's smiling, and we're just having conversation. And because, again, how I see, but also I'm geared for one of my functions is very strong in warfare and understanding, tactical war and all of those things from a spiritual perspective, right? Even from a natural perspective. But as I began to talk with him, I noticed, whoa, something's not right. I jumped up immediately and I looked all around and I said, where is your detail? Like, very sternly, where's your detail? And what that means is the word detail, there was no security detail around him, right? With no security detail is danger. Okay, now, internal focus within the Secret Service to kind of still have an agenda against this man. You're following me? Yeah. Mental, what I have to say, this governmental agendas are real, even from a top secret perspective. All right, I have seen things at a top secret level that were confirmed to me many times through many sources, people I know from the Pentagon to internally with the White House. There's just a lot of things I know that when I see something and I'm seeing conversations and situations behind the scenes that nobody knows, it captures government attention, right? It's just what it is. For example, in the government, in the Pentagon, right, which is the, obviously if you look it up, you know what the Pentagon is. There are departments of clairvoyancy. Clairvoyancy is a collaboration of spiritual people, not Christians. There are Christians and there are prophets in there, but the majority of them are spiritualists, witches, warlocks, masons, people who have figured out an architecture to access things with the spirit. And so there is a clairvoyance department. There is a department within the Pentagon that watches these videos I'm doing right now, YouTube video, and other prophets that I know. And they look for people of accuracy. When they find people who have accuracy, regardless of affiliation or religion or agenda, they do reach out, right? Just recently, I had a very good friend of mine a few months ago, who's a world-known prophetic voice, tell me that the government had located him and asked him and talked to him about this department, right? And so I'm giving you a little insight of what most people do not know is And so it's not beyond the government to still have an for me is very. This is making sense to you. Type in the comments me right now. Just type in the comments. Let me see some comments roll and make sure they're working. Type in the comments me real quick. In this dream, as I was sitting with him at the table, I began to recognize that security was missing. Now, again, like I said, interpretation wise, what does this mean? Well, the Bible says we see in part, we prophesy in part, but there is an understanding of dreams and visions. Now, my perception is you always have to, when interpreting a dream or a vision, you have to remember the perception of the moment, okay? Because the perception of the moment plays a big role in the interpretation of the mystery, okay? And so in the moment I knew that hmm, this is internal, meaning this is not just a spiritual thing, like where his security detail isn't there or his prayer covering. No, this is internal. This is an agenda working within. When I say the Secret Service, we know that to be a branch of military. I mean, a branch of government, but also it represents what is secret service. It's right. It's things that are secret, and so looking at it even from that perspective of even from that perspective of being secret, we know that there could be a secret agenda even within the branch against this man. And so we have what actions do we take as believers? Okay, well, we as believers should begin to pray. Believers should keep him in prayer and pray that God would use him and help him even in this process of what he's got to do for the country, because he's not young. He is older, but he's also the next person that's going to lead the country. And so, people who have a clear agenda and a focus agenda, who are not bowing their knee to Baal, right? Because many of these woke prophets, right, woke people have bowed their knee to Baal and clearly have speak through what they say that they do not hear from God, right? And I said this about 2 months ago that um, there's going to be chaos in the church coming soon. Okay, it's already started, but there's going to be more. There's going to be more chaos, simply because simply because there's two altars that are battling right now, and the two altars that are battling are, you know, it's like an Elijah system and a Jezebel system. Okay, those are the two altars. Of course, the internet wants to act stupid. All right, it's going to be God. Okay, and the thing is, most people don't realize that. Uh-oh, are you frozen? Hold on, let me see. Get some better reception. Can you hear me? Is that better? Of course, the internet wants to act up. There is going to be confusion, even in the church, that is going to look destructive. Being like the church is like, oh, the church is such a mess. It's actually God. It's God. Because the two altars are battling. The two altars are battling, Jezebel and Elijah. It's like those systems that have been set up in the earth because of the physical people. Elijah was a physical person. Jezebel was a physical person. But you see that even after Jezebel's death and Elijah's ascension, that it's still mentioned throughout the Bible. Why? Because they set in motion two systems and two divine altars in the earth. And they're always battling for the voice, they're battling for influence. And so a lot of America's prophets have bowed their knee to Baal. A lot. You have no clue. I will go down a list of your favorite prophets and tell you certain things that are happening. You'd be shocked. So it's best that you keep your discernment and understand what God is doing, and understand that even in the chaos and the turmoil that you're going to see within the church, that this is not a a church health issue. It is God is battling for the soul of America. God is battling for the voice of America because the prophetic voices who are on mainstream TV. Shared this dream privately with a trusted apostle and two shared this dream privately with a trusted apostle and two Hold on. Prophets earlier this year. Let me see if this helps. All right, can you hear me, guys? This internet, of course, the devil doesn't want this to go out. Let me walk into this office. All right, let me see. Can you hear me? I need someone to put in the comments real quick that you can still hear me. I need someone to put in the comments. Can you still hear me? Perfect. Okay, so like I said, it's two altars that are battling. Most of you don't realize that you have been listening to a prophetic voice that has created a cult-like mentality, cult-like following, but yet they're very accurate. They pack out arenas. They have millions of people who connect to them that look for their prophetic words, and they're a man of God. And no, you don't understand. They have bowed their knee to Baal. They have bowed their knee to Mammon. And in order to get these prophetic words, they live in a life of perversion, homosexuality, things that you would be shocked at, okay? And God is judging it. God is judging it. God has a list of media and people that are under his judgment. And you're going to see conflict. You're going to see people talk about what I'm saying, and you're going to see vice versa, us talk about what they're saying, and people are going to be confused saying, who do we listen to? What voice is right? What one's correct? The one that God backs up with power, with demonstration. It says in the Bible that if a prophet says a word and it doesn't come to pass, that this prophet has spoken presumptuously. And it says, you are not to fear this prophet. Well, on the flip side of that, so the prophets who actually speak real things that come to pass, there is an association of fear on them. Why? Because what they say happens. And so you have to be careful when people have been actually mantled that carry authority and power, not just some good words to say, not just they understand language and they understand how to speak. Okay, that don't mean nothing. Show me people who carry power, who have fruit, because the evidence of a tree is its fruit. That's Jesus' example. And you have to understand how to discern fruit, because not all fruit is correct, right? So you have to look and see, is this fruit rotten? Is something good? You need discerning of spirits to really see in this time period. That's all I can say, because I can think of some false voices right now. I can think of some people who are living crazy lifestyles, or not correct, or full of mixture, and I can think of some good attributes that they have that people would associate but not know what's happening behind the scenes. So I can understand that perspective. And so it's going to take the discerning of spirits. It's going to take the gift of God to know that something's not right in an individual. When God is bringing judgment and really bringing down some things in this hour, we have to be careful. Okay, we have to be careful to pay attention and not think that these judgments are to be taken lightly, because an open judgment usually resulted in a rejected private time of rebuke. What do you mean by that? I know for a fact some people who are being judged right now have had many private rebukes, right? Have had situations where there have been private conversations to correct the error. And when you don't deal with it, see, men and women of God who carry platform and influence, God is merciful. He'll speak to people around you to bring you back to a place of humility before public exposure. And so a lot of the times public exposure happens because of unrepentant closet time, unrepentant times of where people are instructing you, hey, God showed me this. It's like David and Nathan, right? Hey, the prophet, the seer said, hey, this is what's going on, right? And You saw David's reaction. My point being is there's a lot of private time that God tries to get to an individual before public exposure. So by the time public exposure usually happens, there has been a grace period where that person did not respond. Okay. And so I'm just giving you an understanding of that. God bless you guys. We will be back on. If you're not here and you haven't subscribed, 70% of you that watch us haven't subscribed to the channel. So make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification, get this dream out, because what I saw for Donald Trump in this dream 2 days ago, I have noticed that when I dream something, it happens within 24, 48 hours. Something hits the news, something hits very quickly. And so get the word out. Have people pray. You pray that, you know, God's will be done, but there will be protection, because this man needs detail. He needs security. He needs prayer protection. He needs prayer for his health. He needs prayer for everything that we can think of, because the enemy's agenda through that witch that was running against him, and that whole system of witchcraft and occultism and just wickedness that was running, obviously wanted to employ witchcraft and specific agendas against this man. And so it is what it is, but we got to pray and keep the prayer covenant for him. So God bless you guys. We'll see you on our Sunday service broadcast. God bless.